You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of nerds. Nerds!
Welcome to Nerds Podcast. The dynamic duo of Puba and Pete are here to cover the pre-episode to the finale of the season 5 of The Boys. Pete, the Frenchman, the female, and the man called Mother's Milk. What an episode to discuss. Pete, there's so much here. You had called it on the last episode when we talked about The Boys, where this was not going to be like... what's the damn show? Stranger Things. This was totally different. This was gonna be mouth opening, shocker. Things are gonna happen with The Boys compared to this. And looking at 2 different season finales that we've covered in less than a year, is this a better route to take than that you saw in Stranger Things?
Well, I think that's what we want to see when it's a popular series like this. We want that shock value, and Stranger Things didn't give it to us. It didn't, and I think we were waiting for that. I think the favorite, everybody thought the guy that was most logically gonna be the one to kick the bucket was Jonathan. Everybody thought that he was gonna be the one to go, and
I was all for it. Sloppy Poppy had to go, yeah.
Not one of them did, and Anthony Starr, the actor who plays Homelander, even commented on that. He didn't name Stranger Things by name, but I think we all knew who he was talking about when he said that. And listen, X-Men 97 had a death.
And this took me back to the exact same Gambit emotional moment for me. You actually called it in a conversation that we had prior to this recording that this felt the same way when she said, "I can't feel you." You told me that, and you know what? I do not deny I saw this episode twice. Just as probably as much as I watched any other episode of The Boys, this is the one I'll probably watch the most. But we get kind of this number at the beginning. Boy, when I tell you, Pete, that there is blasphemy up top of blasphemy on this show, I know we talk about the gore, I know we talk about the things, but like for people that go to church, they can't watch this because they would probably throw up in their own mouth. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a parody, right? They're but listen, I that you're talking about Oh Father, correct?
Your favorite character, brother.
Yeah, oh God, he's just too much a little over the top. But that's kind of the they've kind of stayed the path with their characters as far as their names, and they're a little bit outrageous. Like Mother's Milk, I never understood it. I know they explained it in this episode.
That was fire, Pete. Can we talk about that, man?
I just never. I just thought. Listen, regardless, I heard the reasoning behind it. Still think it's not a great name. Mother's Milk. And then Oh Father, he's an evangelist, and he has
it better than Marvin's Milk, right? And that was the other name he got. Yeah. Listen, he still rocked the Bismarck E-shirt. I was still cool with Mother's Milk. Again, you're gonna get the story. We're not gonna discuss it if you haven't watched it yet, and this is coming out late because we have lives and things of that nature. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're gonna find out why Mother's Milk was named Mother's Milk in this episode. I just don't want to spoil it for you guys. Please watch it if you haven't watched it.
It's a cool story. It's a cool story. Yeah, it's a cool story. I just overall the name just doesn't hit.
The Boys, of course, the virus is done. At this point, there's no more virus. If you haven't watched so far up to this episode, I'm sorry. Homelander's immortal, and there's nothing that we can do. I didn't see what the next thing is, but to take this route, to try to recreate Soldier Boy's powers all over again, because again, and I thought that was so weak. I think it's so weak that you could just burn the V out of someone's blood. if that was the case, I thought that the fact that they're using atomic power and pretty much a nuclear blast within a room, and that doesn't have the same effect, doesn't make any sense to me. Because if a nuclear power had hit, all the boys would be dead by now. Everybody would be dead by now. So it just doesn't feel good. Are you okay with this reasoning about burning V out of the blood, Pete?
Well, I'll say this. Listen, there has to be a way around it, because if not, then Homelander wins. There has to be a way around it. And if this is what they came up with, we've experienced shows that they've been accused of lazy writing, and especially at the end. Look, they may, the tank may be on E. They don't have any other ideas. That could be what it is. Now, if that's what it is, that they're just using it to burn V1 out of their bloodstream or out of their system, the theory floating around is Soldier Boy was holding the V1, using his powers to strip Bombsight of his powers. It affected that vial of V1 as well. So it doesn't work.
Not immune.
Exactly.
If that theory is correct, then what a finale I think we're gonna have. And I'm hoping that's the case. Like that we just missed that small, so he had the V1 in his hand, got blasted, gave the V1. I don't know.
That's the theory I've read.
Yes, it is. But we talk about things dying, Pete. We got some Gen V people in this episode. Heads up, it was not renewed. No third season there. So I'm hoping they take advantage, because apparently Monroe, who's on the show from Gen V to this one, she's supposed to have almost identical powers to Homelander. I don't know. She's just a bloodbender from what I know. But Pete, it's the end of the 7. No more. And they haven't had for quite some time. They haven't had 7 people on there. But this course breaks the Deep's heart, Pete. This was great to see all at the same time, because there is no one going to be holding the Deep's hand moving forward.
It was a little weird to hear him say, for them to be discussing the 7, because we haven't really heard that. And when was the last time we heard them say anybody reference the 7? So hearing that was a little weird. And I was like, well, yeah, that's right. They are like that is like their Justice League. But Homelander just, pulled the plug.
Yeah, that was crazy to see. Like, having this Vought world without the 7, you could tell. Like, they're really going towards the end here and just kind of trying to close every ending that they had.
Question for you.
Go.
Did you think he was going to give it to him?
Yes.
I did too.
I did think that he was going to give him the 7. I did think they would get a whole, again, what a other parody or an extension of The Boys to do the Deep's 7, or the 7 Seas of the Deep. Like, I could see the episode now. Okay, let's get away from that, because as the boys are trying to do everything they can, they are also going back into Vought Studios, which, again, these plans that they have, I'm zero clueless to why they continue them, because they obviously fail. But we get a new character, P. Synapsis. I had to look what synapsis is, or synapse. I didn't know what that was, and it's something to do with molecules and things of that nature. Fine. I'm okay with that, because it gave us Jeffrey Dean Morgan back as Jeff Kessler, and I absolutely love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I know you do too. He kills the role. He should have been on The Boys a long time ago. What did you think if this is the finale of where we see Jeffrey Dean Morgan on The Boys?
It's a minor role, and he's not a minor actor. I mean, we've heard, again, we've look, first time I was introduced to him, not of course personally, but on the big screen, was on Watchmen. He was the comedian in Watchmen. And ever since then, I kind of like, oh, that's the guy from, he was in Watchmen. He was supposed to, in Zack Snyder's, his universe, the Snyderverse, he was supposed to be Thomas Wayne, Batman's dad. And, but
he did good there too.
He, unfortunately, we didn't get to see that come to fruition. The rumor was for the Flash movie, it was supposed to be like Flashpoint. It wasn't supposed to be Michael Keaton. It was supposed to be him being Thomas Wayne but it didn't happen. It didn't go that route. And he says that Michael Keaton stole his role. So, but
The
yeah,
joys of life
we're
taken
fans
away
of
from us.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Every time he's got a swag about the way he, you know, portrays whoever on whether it's voice acting, whether it's live action. For me, he has a swag about how he goes about portraying his roles. But nah, he's legit. I love him.
And listen, I'll say this, Pete, and just to stay on the Jeffrey Morgan train real quickly, is that he is much like every actor. He sounds the exact same way. He's the exact same person in every single role. And I'll take it. I'll take it. But that's not the only cameo we get, Pete. While the deep is hitting rock bottom, drinking a beer by the water, we get another cameo by a shark. Do you know who it was?
Well, the shark's name was Xander, right?
Yes.
So yeah, they're yeah, of course, one of the most recognizable voices you'll hear. I'll give you a recognizable voice. You're gonna recognize Morgan Freeman whenever you hear his voice, right? So this is another one in Hollywood that everybody would as soon as they hear it, they know who he is.
We won't spoil it what it is. If you know who it is, fantastic. If you don't, ask the question below. We'll answer it for you down in the comments below.
What's funny is the Deep didn't know, the Chase Crawford who plays the Deep. He didn't know either until he saw it. He said, "Look, I was sitting by the water talking to a tennis ball because that's how they get you to follow the reference where they're gonna do the CGI." And he said he didn't know either. He said he stole the freaking scene.
Yes, he did. He did, especially by dropping the MF bomb there. I loved it. Well, as all this is happening with Synapse and with the boys, Pete, there was a butt sniffing scene that was just crazy to watch. Like the boys doesn't ever disappoint when it comes to those things. It's just needed to be watched. But Pete, you're not the only one that hates rats. There's another person that hates rats as much as you do. How did you do with that scene?
Not good. Not good. No. God, man.
Guys, as this comes to an ending, we get the most probably emotional I've ever been watching this show with Homelander finding the boys' hideout. Pete, I don't want to say it. Again, if they're watching this and they haven't watched The Boys that just aired a couple of days ago, I was not okay at the end of this episode. Were you?
Nah, this is like you said, the most emotional I've been watching this show. It was definitely one of those like, whoa. But that's what you watch it for. You watch it for that shock value. There's, you're invested in these characters over 5 seasons. And some of them are fan favorites, and that I like that in a series. Sometimes you have to do that to kind of get people out of the norm, especially if it's 5 seasons and people. This was one of the lowest rated episodes of the whole series. Wow. Not the season of the series, but it could be fatigue. Look, it's 5 seasons. It's gonna be over soon, but they were able to give us that, hey, wake up, guys. The finale's next week. We just want to make sure we keep your attention here.
No, I agree with you. And again, I think this is much like bigger shows like The Sopranos, the Sons of Anarchy, anything Game of Thrones. Not many people are going to like this towards the ending because they know that it's ending. And they're just mad that it's going away. And I think that's why it got a low score compared to appreciating the joyous ride that we've been on this. But
well, hold on. I don't know if it's a question of not liking it because it's going to end. Maybe they just don't like the direction that it's going, because everything I heard about Sopranos, and I never watched Sopranos, but and I'll tell you why. Here's my experience with Sopranos. Friday at work. Oh, can't wait till Sunday. Sopranos, can't wait. Monday morning, it was horrible. Everybody's complaining about it the next day. So I was like, what's the big deal about this series if everybody's complaining about it? And then the finale, everybody knows what the finale was. It just kind of cut off. It faded to black. Again, people were still complaining. So I don't know if it's that it was ended. People weren't happy with the ending. The same way we weren't happy with the ending with Stranger Things or with Game of Thrones. So I don't know if it's that they're upset that it's ending. They want a good ending. We're okay with Sons of Anarchy because Sons of Anarchy was good.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, for me, they dropped the ball. Stranger Things, complete snorefest. That finale. They all, these kids fought a big monster and not one of them none of them died.
Yep. Sloppy Poppy lived on the couch. I know.
It's like
Sloppy
the Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious. These guys were stealing DVD players, and now they're secret agents. They're all like masters of all these various fighting styles, but they were freaking street racers before. I'm sorry, but no.
No. It's a great rant because it took me, and I have to say this, right? I have to say this. You know what was one of the lowest episodes when they first came out for The Walking Dead? Another big fandom show, one of the most watched television shows of all time. It was when Glenn died. Mm-hmm. So, and if you ask most people when they stopped watching The Walking Dead, it's right there when Glenn died. And again, watch The Boys, not spoiling anything for you guys here in this finale. Please comment below. Tell us what you think of this pre-finale. And Pete, I'll see you in The Boys finale.
And now Glenn is invincible.
The worst episode ever.